This video is going to be about how good the Copa Classics feel after the last update for Automobilista 2 by Reason Studios. But it's also going to be for me Norfolk boys, because the Copa Classics are basically a bunch of low-powered 80s hatchbacks, mostly front-wheel drive, which is what we were all driving when we all first started driving around these parts. If you are not bothered with hearing me waffle on about days gone by and how it was taking these things and ragging them down the old Norfolk roads, I'll stick a little timestamp in the description for this video, one for the setup of the car and then one for the actual start of the race. But for you guys that want to know why I'm loving these so much, basically, when I was growing up, you know, when we were starting to drive, we all had little low-powered hatchbacks. I had an Escort, Mark IV Escort, and a Mark II Astra. Me mate Nathan had a Polo and a Festa, which he put me into a ditch in, me and him, 40 miles an hour. Me mate Sam was the only one out of the lot of us that had a rear-wheel drive car. It was an old BMW handed down by his parents. Thinking about it, actually, yeah, he put us into a lamppost with the car in that as well. But for the most part, we were all front-wheel drivers. And mate Lewis, who was driving a little bit later because he's a little bit younger and better looking, he had a Golf. And I think Stuart, I can't remember. Did you have a Festa? He's got a BMW Mini now. He loves that, I know. But these cars are like those cars that we used to drive, and they're feeling so good. I don't know, actually, if it's the last update or one of the ones before that made them feel so good, because I hadn't tried these cars for a while, and I've just gone back and tried them, and they're just brilliant. You've got basically what is blatantly a Volkswagen Polo there. You've got an old Fiat Uno, an old Chevette, which is one of the only rear-wheel drive ones, and you've got this Puma down here, which is a gorgeous-looking car. Rear engine, not mid-engine, rear engine, like a Beetle, but doesn't look like one. And they're all around 130 brake horsepower, which is probably about 40 more horsepower than any of us had in our 1.4s and 1.6s. My mate Wayne and Rob, they used to race stock cars as well. And, well, from what I've seen, Wayne some of the cars he used to race in Banger and stock were a bit like this. Rob, I think, was more sort of super stocks, but these cars are just so much fun, and they really do feel like those old cars. These ones here, you've got these ones, and then you've got the higher powered ones here. I'm hoping Reese update these cars, because some of them have got damage. These ones haven't got the visual damages added yet, and there are weird little anomalies, like on the setup for this car you can change the downforce from 0.1 to 0.2. Where's the spoiler? Where's the adjustable downforce? It doesn't have any. So there are things that still need to be updated, but they're brilliant. Anyway, we used to rag these things around the roads of Norfolk, so what I'm going to do is go to Norfolk, to Snetterton, our closest local track. Because Snetterton, compared to some of the bigger European tracks, is thinner roads, which is what we were used to around here. The back roads to King's Lynn were like little thin rally tracks. And there's a lot of tight corners on the infield, and then a big long straight which goes sort of almost parallel to the A11 on the way to Norwich. And on the A11 you're doing national speed limit, and then you'd be brake for one of the big roundabouts before you came into Norwich. And right at the end of the straight here you've got brake, because you've got Brundle, and then Nelson's corner, which is so sharp it's a right angle. So we're going to take all of these cars along to Snetterton, and I'm just going to show you how much. We're going to have a race, and I'm going to show you what I've done to set up this car a little bit, you know, because obviously these are set up to be racing cars, and our road cars weren't. I mean, you know, the closest that I got was, I was very proud of my Astra because it was the Astra L, and I was very proud of the L because it meant it had slightly wider tyres than the standard version. And these have all got wide racing slicks and stuff. So anyway, opponent settings are all the way down to 83 on skill, because the AI for these cars are really fast. I like that, because that means even if I get 20% better, I've still got about 17% more to go after that to get up to 120. So I'm always going to have fun with these cars. Aggression's at 100. Let's get out there. Oh, I'm using the Passat here because it kind of reminds me of my Astra, because it's got a slightly longer wheelbase, and mine was a 4-door Astra. This is only a 2-door, but it's longer wheelbase than, say, the Uno. And also it's a bit heavier. And yeah, obviously our cars weren't like they were normal road cars with no seats taken out and everything. So I want to weight your car. Now, what I've done to make this car feel even more like the old cars that we used to drive. Hang on a minute, it's very loud. Let's just try and get rid of all of the car volume. Hang on. General car volume, no, that's doing nothing. Opponent car volume. Right, there we go. That's better. We'll turn them down for a minute. Turn that back up to where it was. So, what I've done is, if I take you into my setups here. Now, on all of our cars, it was all, you know, we'd have our front suspension, and then the back suspension on most of our cars would be a swinging torsion beam with no anti-roll bar. So there's no anti-roll bar on the rear. And we had an anti-roll bar on. I snapped the anti-roll bar on my Astra. It took me a month to wear out all of the brake pads and snap the anti-roll bar from cornering so hard. Because you could really just throw these things about. So I've given it some anti-roll bar on the front, but none on the back. Also, on a lot of those cars that we all had, you had discs on the front and drums on the back. So the back brakes were kind of an afterthought. So I've put the brake bias all the way to 85 to the front and hardly any on the back. Of course, they're road cars as well, so they're set up with more front brake bias. Now, if we go into advanced, on the road cars, we'd have more pressure in the fronts than we have in the rears. However, with these cars, the way they're set up, to get a little bit more lift-off oversteer, because they're racing cars, the default setup comes with the pressures higher at the back than they are at the front. So I've taken them all the way down at the back, just to remind me how those old cars felt. And also, I've made the back suspension softer than the front, as it would have been on our cars. So anyway, let's just go back into me sounds here and bring those back up. Lewis, who had the Golf, I think that died, as did one of my Astras. The first Astra I had, which Mum and Dad sort of give me, blew up shortly after I got it. So I then had to work with Sam in the Wissington Sugar Beet factory for a while. That was a horrible job, to pay for a new one. That's when I got the Astra L. Not as good as the Escort. The Escort was the only car that I had that didn't have swinging torsion beam on the bar. The Escort handled really well. It had fully independent suspension all the way around. That was a Mark IV. Anyway, let's get out there and just see what this car's like. I've got 5 gears, which is what generally all of our cars have, between 4 and 5 gears. So this is a 5th gear one. So here we go. Front wheel drive. And this car takes about around 6 seconds to get to 60. My Escort took well over 10 seconds. So I just didn't use the brakes once I'd got up to speed. There we go, 60 miles an hour. Coming up to 70. Oh, got a Chevette. Oh! Chevette's just hit me there because they're on, we're in qualifying at the moment, and the AI in qualifying act quite differently to how they do in the race. So we're going to slow down a 2nd gear to around 35 miles per hour to get round Montreal corner there. These cars obviously accelerate a bit faster than the old 80s hatchbacks of road cars that we're all driving around in. But, and they've got a slightly higher top speed. But I did once manage, and I shit you not, I managed to get my old Mark IV Escort downhill with backwind up to, at least it said on the speedometer, it was probably doing a few mile an hour less than this, because I shouldn't think it was that accurate. 117! Anyway, these cars will be reaching just over 100 at the end of the Bentley straight. Slowing down here to around 40 for Oggies. There is a little Fiat Uno, one of the lads at school. When we got into high school, was one of the first to get I forget his name. He was of Italian descent. Him and his brother got a Fiat Uno. It was red or yellow. They were so proud of that because it was ever so slightly sporty. It was slightly lowered. Anyway, so we're now doing 94, 95, 96. 100 miles an hour before I start braking hard. Like you would at the end of the A11 for the big roundabouts coming into Norwich. I'm braking hard for Nelson's corner there, which is really sharp. So we go into the bomb hole. The racing with these cars is just, as well as them feeling absolutely great, the racing with these is so close. I've got a Chevette coming up behind me and braking hard for Murray's. In my last video, I was actually looking at the new Snetterton for Assetto Corsa Competizione by Kunos. And it's amazing, it's so accurate, and I've been there for a race, to see a race. It's so accurate. This version in Automobilista 2 by Reza Studios is, as far as I know, not laser scanned, but it is a it's still a really good and very accurate version. There are some differences. The ACC version is better, but it's nice to see this version also in a different style as well, because Automobilista's colour palette it's a bit more high contrast and a bit more saturated than Assetto Corsa Competizione. But these cars round here with this mixture of the long straight, the centre straight and the Bentley straight, and then you've got these sharp corners which remind me of, you know, how we used to rag these. The thing about Norfolk is it's really flat, as you can see, and you know, we used to take our cars down the back roads to King's Lynn, and when the fields were cut, you've got these really sharp corners, but you can go as fast as you like round them because you can see anything coming for miles around when the fields are cut because it's flat. So you know, there's no other cars around, and you can, you know, if you're gonna crash your car, it's just gonna be, you know, your fault, and you know, your insurance and your bent fender, and you're not gonna risk it. If we saw another car coming off at the distance, we'd just slow down. But I mean, obviously, that was just road driving. We just tried to get out of them what we could. And here we can go way above the speed limit, and this is actually racing. We never actually got to race each other, any of us. None of us had that kind of money or contacts. You know, a few of us raced in karts. Alan Brunton, my mate Alan Brunton from high school, he was racing karts for a while. But yeah, this to me, it feels so much like those old cars. And in this virtual environment, I get to race these cars. So I can imagine, you know, it's fun to imagine that in one of these cars is Lewis, and another car there's Stuart, another one Sam. You know, Noel, I think he had a Nissan. You know, Wayne, Pro Banger Racer, Stock Car Racer, in another one. My mate Ben, actually, he still proudly drives old 80s hatchbacks. He's got a Talbot Sunbeam. Very proud of that. But these cars, they're just so much fun because, you know, all of these cars, the cars we used to drive were not too fast. The brakes weren't too powerful. I've deliberately lowered the brakes in this down to 80% pressure to make them a little bit less efficient and spongy like they were in our road cars. So you couldn't, you know, get too bent out of shape if you brake too hard and locked up. You know, they're quite safe. They're not too fast and quite understeery as well, which is why I've taken those back tyre pressures down to make it more like the road cars we used to have. You can just throw them around, you know, at 60, just weave around and you're okay, because you're not going too fast. And this track's pretty perfect for them, because you want to have these cars on a track with lots of corners, preferably lots of tight corners like the infield has here at Snetterton. And then, oh, we've got an Uno coming up on the right hand side. I nearly lost it at nearly 60 miles an hour, turned in a bit too hard. Yeah, and then you can let them breathe a bit on the Bentley straight here, where they're going to be reaching near enough their top speed, which isn't much over 100. It's just brings back memories of how much fun those kind of cars are. My first car, actually, this is before I got on the road, I was about 15, coming on 16, was a car that I had on a mud field, and it wasn't a car, it was a truck, it was a pickup truck. It was a Morris Marina pickup truck that my dad bought for 25 quid. It was so rusty you could see through the floor. And it was rear wheel drive rather than front wheel drive, so I learnt my tricks in that on a mud field, which was quite useful for me. Luckily, because obviously it's Top Gear's favourite car, luckily I never had a piano fall on my Morris Marina. But I loved my Astra, and I loved my Escort. And this isn't an, I'd love to have an Astra. I'd love to have an Astra and a couple of Escorts in this. I'd love to have 3 Escorts, Mark 3, Mark 1, Mark 2 and Mark 3 and Mark 4, and one of the Escort Cosworths. That would be amazing if we could get those in this. Anyway, they just feel superb. Look at the little Polo in front of me there. Just super. Can we keep up with him and use the tiny little bit of slipstream that's coming off of his car? Because of course these cars, aerodynamics, what's that with these things? Shaped like boxes basically. That's why it's so weird that this car has an option for adjusting the downforce by one click. There is no spoiler. And you know, the whole thing about getting back to driving front wheel drive, because obviously with sim racing there's a lot of rear wheel drive cars that I drive, especially when I did the ACC video, they're all rear wheel drive. But you know, that whole thing of front wheel drive, if you want to get the back end off, you just got to really throw it into a corner and use lift off oversteer. And if you get into a slide, you're pulling the car out of the slide with power, rather than in a rear wheel drive car you'd be coming off the power. It's so much fun. So, oh, oh, just touched the grass there. These are brilliant. Anyway, let's go racing. I'll take the car back to the pit. I'm just enjoying driving this thing so much. Oh, and the Puma there. Low-powered car, but isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous car. Not from this country. Not quite sure where that's from, but if it's Brazilian or not. Of course, Boi'z Studios, who make Automobilista 2, are a Brazilian company, and fantastic they are too. Right, let's get our pit speed limiter on. Oh, I've got a grid penalty. I came in a bit too hot into the pits. Whoops. I didn't put my pit speed limiter on early enough. I am a very bad person. Right, okay. So, I don't think we've got a lap time there. Yeah, I am in last, of course. But I'll try and speed up in the race. So here we go. I hope I'm going to keep up with them. Right, where am I? Resume? No, I don't want to resume. I want to come out of that and return to the pit box. Skip to the end of the session. Continue. This is just going to be fantastic. I've been looking forward to this all day. Right, so we got 20 minutes. And yeah, laps are taking well over 2 minutes in this car around this track. I've got 13 laps of fuel. That'll do. Don't need to change that. Could probably do with less to give me the best tape I've got. Anyway, this is going to be awesome. So here we go. First gear's rubbish, so I've got to use all the power I can. It's not giving me any wheel spin because it hasn't got enough power to overpower those big fat front tyres. Got the Pumas at the back there. They're so low. Gorgeous cars. Can I make it down the inside for Rich's corner? No. In the Assetto Corsa competition video I made, I was in a GT3 car and I was taking that corner at over 100 miles an hour, and these I'm sort of approaching 70. But we've made a couple of places. We've got the Puma still to our left there. He's always very close to us. Oh! Passat there had a little bit of a wobble as we came through Palmer. Puma's still with me. Just see his front end there. Making hard for Agostini. Could have left it a little bit later, to be honest with you. Down into second. Trying to drag the car around the corner. That Puma is still there. I can just see him in the mirror. Can we shake him before Hamilton? Yes, we've done it. Right, down the inside of Oggie's second gear. Oh, the Puma's coming right in on me. I've just taken out the bollard on the inside of Oggie's corner there. As we come up to Williams, and I've not used enough power there. I'm changing gear as far. I remember when we used to have these old hatchbacks. You know, I would so concentrate on getting my manual gear changes as fast as possible. Clutch in, bang in the gear, clutch up, off you go. You know, to squeeze as much speed out of them as you could. Right, gotta be careful here. Oh, car's really slowing down. Look at how high I am, my front bumper compared to his back end. Oh, nearly touched his back end there as we go through the bomb hole. These cars just feel great. I love my powerful rear wheel drive cars in the Sims. But it is so good to get into one of these low-powered front-wheel drives and just rag it round. My old Escort used to love to be ragged. The engine actually ran better if it was, you know, it liked to be revved a lot. As we come up the centre straight, trying to get a slipstream, but there isn't much of it. Oh, God! Oh. Nearly lost it at just around 70 miles an hour around Rich's corner there. Just dart down the inside. I'm doing a bit of a dive. I know I'm locked up. I'm locked up. Oh! I just caught the end of that. Pass that there. Sorry, mate. Oh! Actually managed to lock up there. Right. Through Palmer. Could have gone faster, used a little bit more of that runoff area there. The Puma is accelerating away from me there. Can I get him on the inside? If I'm late on the brakes, I don't want to be locking up again though. I can't quite make it. I seem to have the drop on him on the corners, but that car... Oh no, he seems to be accelerating away on the straight, but I don't know, I'm not sure. He's faster in certain areas of the rev range than me and slower in others, I think. And I've fluffed up my gearing there. I probably should have stayed in third. And let what little torque this car has got keep us going, using all of the runoff there at Williams. Come on, come on! Up to fifth gear. 98 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 102 miles an hour, 104. Braking. Try and brake nice and gradually. Back end just sort of having a squiggle around there. Got a blue Puma right behind me. I'm going to try and catch up with this Passat in front of me. I want to catch up with a similar car to mine. Right, what can I do here? Around corner. 83 miles an hour around there. Oh! Braking hard for Murray. Down in the second gear. Using the runoff. Come on, speed! This is why you don't want to race these cars. You wouldn't want these cars at Monza. You'd be bored out of your mind. You'd be sitting there going, come on! There's nothing but straights here and they're too long and this is too slow. Oh! Just scrubbing out widely there at 77 miles per hour. Don't lock up again here. I am locking up. Don't do it. Oh, God. Oh, hit the sausage curb. But I've taken the Puma on the inside. We're getting up to the Passats now. Come on. Staying in third gear up to fourth through Palmer. How late on the brakes can I be for Agostini corner? Yes, we're catching them. Fourth gear, dare I try fourth gear? For Hamilton it worked. Right, third gear for Oggies. Use that dip on the inside and the curving, just drag the car round. I used to do that on the old Norfolk roads, just use the lip of where, because some of the old Norfolk roads, the tarmac would just meet the grass, there'd be a lip of tarmac before the grass, and you could get your front wheels hooked over that, drag the car around the corners. It was brilliant. Oh my God, look at the Puma! He's really coming up on me. Going for a move, but I'm shutting the door. Oh! Whoa! Lost it! Oh! Up on two wheels! Fast as I can through the bomb hole! That dip just helped me pull the car around. Here we go, Pecorum. Use balance the car by lifting up the throttle to let the front end come round, back end come round a bit. Braking for Murray's second gear. Using all of the curb runoff. And we are catching the Passats. Past the pit straight. Past this mound over here on the right where I sat and on that corner and watched the touring cars come around Rich's corner here. Right. Don't screw this up. You're drifting really wide. That's the fastest I've taken it yet. 78 miles an hour. Oh. Getting unsettled on the curb there. 78, nearly 80 miles per hour. I took that up. But catch. Oh. Front wheels just grabbed there. The front wheel drive. This is just superb. It's just, this is, you've got to try this. It's fantastic. None of my mates, I don't think, have actually got PCs now on racing sims like this that I grew up with, and I wish they did. I'd love to race these cars with them at Snetterton online. Stuart, my mate Stuart, is planning on getting himself a PC. He really wants to get into sim racing. He's already got a Assetto Corsa on the Xbox and he's loving it. But he wants to get into Automobilista 2. And other sims as well. We're alright. And how much speed can I carry through here? Oh! You don't want to use too much acceleration in third gear around that corner there, because the car just starts, you know, torque steering out towards the, well, not torque steering, but steering out towards the edge of the front wheels that spinning for grip. Right, can I get this right this time? Just keep dabbing the brakes, like a paintbrush on a canvas. I've got to catch these Passats. Come on! Right. Gotta make some time around Coram. Right, let's line it up nicely. Second gear. Here we go. Banging it into gear as quickly as possible. We're catching them, we're catching them. And I'm going to try and be a little bit more careful. Oh, it's more. I was actually at 80 miles an hour there, but I got the apex a lot better, so it's a lot smoother around that corner. And at the edge of the brakes grip there, we are now up behind the first Passat in a horrible beigey cream colour. Oh, this is just brilliant. Right, I'm going to use all the power I can around Palmer. We're right on his bumper. Come on! He's covering the inside. Oh! I was going to go down the inside, but he covered it. I really want to see Reeser update the visual damage on these. They've got physical damage, but you know, it'd be great to see, because you can have a bit of door rubbing with these old tin tops. Whoa, down the inside! Oggies, well, we have had a tiny little bit of contact there. Little bit of paint swapping. Right, come on. Gonna get this right. Don't want to lose any time on the gear change. Banging it in, banging it in. Into fifth. Don't want these cars getting away from me now. Caught up a bit. Right, braking, nice and gradual, nice and easy, not too much, not too much. Second gear. I think I'm going to be wanting to leave it in third for that corner, actually, now that I've got the line right. Right, use the curve on the inside of the bum hole. And on the outside, as we come up the Coram corner again. Come on! Right, let's lift off here a little bit, let the back end come round. Set it up nicely. Oh, don't lose it on the grass there. Second gear. Right up on the bumper of the cream Passat there. And he's getting away. But I'm starting to gain again. Emerson starting to gain it back as the small little bit of aero slipstream comes in. Braking hard. Around Rich's corner, I am literally on his back, right quarter. He's going to go for the inside, I'm going to go for the outside. We've taken him on the outside. We've taken him on the outside. Round Montreal. We've got him. Can we get up to the Chevettes there? I haven't seen one of the little Polos yet, so they must have qualified the fastest. We've got a couple more Passats and a bunch of Chevettes up in front. Oh, we're too right. Round Agostini. Struggling for grip on the way out. The front wheels. Keeping it in third gear for Hamilton. Gonna keep it in third gear for Oggies. Oh! We are side by side at Oggies, just rubbing paint. This is such good racing. It's just so much fun, these cars. This is why I want to see these cars updated and concentrated on a bit more. This is what makes Automobilista 2 so individual. Cars like this. And of course there's all those wonderful Brazilian tracks, but I thought for this video I wanted a nice flat track like Norfolk, and this is in Norfolk, so it was the most appropriate. I do love those Brazilian tracks. Right, whoa! Oh, on the grass! The cream Passat's caught up. The three in front are really battling at it now. The white and red Passat are going for it against the green Chevette there. And I've lost a lot of time. Can I make it back at the end of Core and coming into Murray here? Right. Get it just right. Nearly getting a wheel on the sausage curve there, but missing it by centimetres. Come on! Right, let's get Rich's right. Let's get it nice and smooth and fast. 84 miles there, slowing down 77. What's going to happen? Are they going to go inside or outside? Oh no, I didn't quite know what to do. I'm going for the inside. Am I making it? I'm making it. I've taken the red Passat up behind the green Chevette. Right, I haven't been using enough speed around Palmer's and I'm trying to use a bit more this time. Use all of that runoff area. Late brake, get right up behind them. Ready for the exit of Agostini. I've taken the green Chevette on the outside. He's right beside me, number 55 there. He's right beside me through Hamilton's. Down into second. Couldn't quite make it past him. There at Oggy's. This is just fantastic racing. It's just so much fun. Just to prove that you don't always need a 500 brake horsepower rear wheel drive car. As much as I love them, it's so much fun to be having these. And the Passat, the red Passat behind me, catching up, going for the overtake. Oh my God! Going for an overtake at Brundle. That's gutsy. Swung the back end round there at Nelson, which has worked out well for us. As we gain on the Chevette, can I do an overtake round corner? Is this going to happen? Oh, I'm too far to the outside. I want to be on the inside where the grip is. Right up behind the Chevette. Oh, I've given him a touch. Sorry mate, I didn't mean that. And that's bump drafted him forwards. Oh, I've lost even more time. Oh. Back end coming out a little bit under braking there. Even though I've got most of my brake bias set towards the front. The rake of this car though is set so the back end's higher in the air at the back, so higher centre of gravity. He's still there. This is such close racing, it's fantastic. And at a manageable speed. Right, oh, braking, slow down. He's not so fast on the corners, but that car's got 150 horsepower rather than 130. So he is making it away there on acceleration out of the corners onto the straights. But, oh, we had a slight touch there. But he's got better legs out of the corner again. He's accelerating away to come through Hamilton. But I seem to be having an advantage at the corners. How late can I brake? Side by side at Oggy's. We're side by side still. Oh, but he's got the legs in third. As we change into third gear, he's just got it. What about the straight though? He got a much better exit at the straight, as did the red Passat behind me, number 811. If you can see him in my mirrors there. He's now coming up alongside. He's coming past. We're side by side through Brundle. This is dangerous. Oh, we just touched. We just touched a Nelson. Oh, I want that green Chevette so badly now. Come on. I just saw a spit of flame coming out the back end. Back exhaust of the Chevette. Oh, old hatchback certainly never did that. How are we doing? Right. 20th out of 26. The time is at 0. This looks like it is the last lap. I'm going to catch the Chevette on the last lap. Come on now. Oh, don't lose it on the grass. Braking hard, but don't lock up, don't lock up. Yes. Right, stay with him on the exit. Stay with him on the exit. Right up behind. I want this Chevette. Come on. He's going to be slower than me through this corner, but as soon as we get out of it, he's going to pull away. Yes, he's doing it again. Oh, and I've fluffed the gear change. Ah! Ground my gears and he's got away. I've got to leave the braking as late as possible. Come on. Oh! That was very messy. Another bad gear change. I love the way the transmission is modelled on Automobilista 2. Brilliantly done. Alright, come on, come on. We're getting through Oggies. Oggie, Oggie, Oggie. Oi! Oh, we're not going to get him. I so wanted to get him. Not giving up. Come on! He's just got the legs on me. It's that extra 20 horsepower. I'm banging it into gear as fast as I can. I just can't keep with him. But will these two cars in front of him slow him down? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh! I lost it. And I've hit the green Chevette. Totally my fault. Oh, I'm losing places all over the place. What a disaster. No! We're down at 23rd place. Oh, sorry guys. Oh, don't lose it again. God, you lose it once and you just start losing it all over the place, don't you? And the Passat's going to take us as well. Here he comes. Number 57. Oh, mate. Ha ha. Oh, damn, man. That was... Oh. I've let you all down. Actually, it's not that I've let you all down. The worst thing is, I've let myself down. But what a race! Oh! I tell you what, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd buy a load of these old cars, fit them out with roll cages, and me and my mates would all go to Snetterton, hire the track out for the day, and have a race. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? If you haven't tried the Copa Classics in a while, it's time to have a go again, because honestly, they feel so good now. And the racing is this good and this much fun. Bravo, Reza. And I love the fact that I've got a really, really decent version of Snetterton in this, and a super accurate version of it in ACC at the moment. My home county track. Brilliant memories of watching the touring cars here. I think out of all of us, if we did go, I think it would be Wayne and Rob who'd probably be the fastest, seeing as they're used to a bit of stock car racing, mostly on ovals, those guys. But I'm, you know, sure they'd probably be the fastest. But yeah, driving this car just because it's just like the little 80s hatchbacks that we used to drive when we were a bit younger. You know, I think a lot of people can relate to that. You know, a lot of people started out in low-powered hatchbacks. It's just brilliant. You know, you can really just chuck them around. Maybe not as much as I did when I was coming up on the green Chevette though, don't do that. That was just so fantastic, it really was. And I'm going to stick this thing in the garage over here. Oh, I hope you all enjoyed that. Try the Copa Classics, they're brilliant. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like my vids, and you'll get updates on more that I do. Just brilliant. Bye all.